Hello! This video is part of a series where I read over old issues of my comic Hellgate and give some commentary. Hellgate started in 2003 when I was 15 and ran till 2009. You can read it for free at jaegercomics.com. This footage was captured from my streams over at twitch.tv/Jaeger_comics. This is Hellgate Battle 39, Holy vs. Demonic from 2008. Last time on Hellgate Battle 38 Showdown, after receiving a locket from Courtney, Neil headed for Peoria to fight the Demon King. Though the Demon King decided to avoid the fight out of boredom, Neil took out the Demon Castle, forcing the Demon King to fight him. Now the fight has begun, and neither side is holding back. CNN breaking news. This is CNN breaking news. As you know, a month ago, the city of Peoria, Illinois was attacked and destroyed by demons. The city is only 20 miles from Eureka, Illinois, the hometown of the Demon Slayer, and may be the reason the demons chose it. But breaking news, we have been able to hack into a security camera at a news station in Peoria, thanks to some help. We now have live footage of what appears to be the Demon Slayer and a demon locked in combat. This brave boy fights on as the world watches. Cut to Roanoke. Come on, Neil. Cut to Eureka. More action! Neil, if you can't beat this guy, then I will. Neil. Got a whole fuck ton of cats. The boy who saved me? Go, Dragon Slayer! For Irwin. Antarctica. What are you watching? Zark! Iraq. Come on, bro. We're all counting on you. Back to Peoria. Our king shall win. Don't be so loyal. Mer. The Demon King and Neil stare each other down as his friends watch from behind rubble. That form. Jaeger only used it once. How strong could it be? Don't tell me this is your trump card. I have the heart to bring this form to its full potential. Neil goes in. Boom. Fast. Clash and glass shatters. The percussion of their swords clashing is shattering all the windows. Then a flurry of sword strikes. I'm at full power and he's keeping up with me. Another strike. He's keeping up with me blow for blow with little effort. This is impossible. Goes up for a stab. What's the matter, Demon King? I thought I wasn't worthy to fight you. Grabs his hair. And throw. I got careless. Demon King joins him. Time to get serious. They clash again. Breaking shit as they go. Sounds like they're doing a lot of damage in there. Back to Antarctica. Where did they go? Another stab, cuts his leg. Downward strike, and boom! Tries to catch it with that hand. Tried to block it with your hand? Not very smart. Another swing, but hits a pillar. And then the ceiling comes crashing in. Gah! The floor above caved in. He's gone. Look on top of the building! Try and dodge this! Demon's arm! Boom! No! Back in Roanoke. Stupid TV, show me the fight! Young gets hit. And the building comes crashing down. Now there are none to stand in my way. Booyah. Fool, you know this wound will heal. But it'll hold you in place. Courtney, now! Neil! Starts to spin the sword. What is this? So much energy! How can this form be so powerful? Is this what took out the castle? Jaeger could never summon an attack this strong. Damn it! I can't get free! Dragon Twister! Boom. Not much left. There goes the sword.
He used the sword to deflect some of the attack, but it's over. He's as good as slain.
The gem! It fell out of my torn pocket! Grabs it, runs in, and... He swallowed it! I call on every demon to join with my body! What did he say? Sucked in. You see Florida, away. Africa, gone. Egypt, gone. New York, gone. China, gone. Look up there. All converging on one point. Cut out the burp. He's fusing with every demon on the planet? That's not all. Sucked out of his sword. All the demons I've slain!
This is bad, really bad!
Watch on in horror as he grows and grows and grows and grows. Now, I am the demon god. He's huge. Jessica, Courtney, another dragon twister. You can't. I have to. I know I've already used 2 today, but I have to do another. No, you don't understand. I have to do this, but I can barely hold this form. Why do I feel so weak? Neil! Sword does nothing. Spin, 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 spin. Dragon Rust? The sword needs at least 1 demon in to allow you to hold a transformation. I have to fight this thing without transforming? I will squash you like an ant. Neil goes in anyway. I can't even cut through his skin. Neil dodges. Dodges. How am I supposed to do this without my sword's power? Don't I, the Demon Slayer, have any power of my own? Can't I do anything to stop this? Sword begins to crack. It comes in again. If I dodge, his attack will hit them. It's coming this way. We can't outrun it. I can't move. But I can't stop him. I can't move. I have to stop him! Boom. Hilt shatters. Burst of energy. Hand draws back.
So much holy energy!
What is this? I'm going to slay you. Goosh.
Blood? What's going on? It's too much energy. The sword in his body can't handle it.
The locket. It's to remind you where your real power comes from. Come on, Jessica. Where? His real strength comes from us. We have to help him. How? They run in, they glow, and pew, pew. One wraps around his body, and bam. One wraps around his sword, and bam.
They became armor for Neil and his sword.
Transformation complete. To be continued. And Halloween drawing. Next time on Hellgate, Battle 40, He Whose Power Rivals God. Neil goes head to head with the Demon God. The Demon God may be surprised by Neil's new transformation, but that doesn't mean he's out of tricks of his own. The final battle between Neil and the demons, it all comes to an end here. And we'll dive right into commentary. So, once again, drawn in pencil, scanned Microsoft Paint cover. But once again, boop, the hickey was done in Photoshop. I think, well, we saw it on the cover of issue 37 as well, but you see full color, the Demon King's transformation. You see the markings are supposed to be green. That just kind of became like the unofficial color for demon language, is that lime green. And that, of course, comes from the covers, which is where the demon language first ever appeared, was on the cover of the first issue. Yeah. CNN breaking news. This guy completely made up, but we got a character coming up that'll eventually get this kind of spotlight in Heaven Gate. But let's go on a little bit of a tour because we have a lot of characters to check up on. We see that the one who did the hacking is Levi Welt from issue 17. He's the one who helped them get into virtual reality headsets so that they can go after a demon on the internet. And then we just kind of cut to like basically everyone Neil's come across watching this on TV. We have Mike Olive and his mom in Roanoke, the former Demon Prince, and then we have Jessica's little brother, and then Eureka. We have Brittany, if you remember her from issue like 3 and 7. Her appearance is always different, so it's hard to. It's one of my biggest regrets is with that character. We have Courtney's older brother. We have Lucas, the boy who tried to slay demons in issue 18, A Peaceful Day in the Life of Lucas. We have Jesse's older sister. Then we have Amber Curtis, the nurse who helped out take care of Jessica during the Blue Flame issues, and her uncle, the doctor, and then all her cats, which there are 2 new cats now. Keeps growing. We have Amanda Night Road, which I don't know that we ever learned her name, but she is someone that Jesse saved at the I think in issue 26. And then we saw her again in 27. She was actually based off a fan of Hellgate. And then speaking of Peaceful Day in Life of Lucas, here's the other background, the other characters that were in that issue. This guy was the one asking about the demon killings lately, and that was the coffee, the barista guy, and then the girl who Lucas tried to save, but Neil had to save her because Lucas can't slay demons. Then we have this cafe owner, or not cafe, but like diner owner who mistakenly calls Neil the Dragon Slayer. If you recall, he was the one who was there when Neil's card got declined because the military was looking to replace him. Speaking of, this is the general who was going to replace Neil, General Stahl, and then Norman Burr, the one who helped design Neil's giant robot in Big Neil. Then we have Jeff Claus, the penguin expert from Antarctica, and then there's Hippo. Hippo's back. Well, he's not back. He's in Antarctica. That's where he's at, but he's hanging out with Jeff. And then we have Neil's brother Brian, who's now stationed in Iraq. And then we have the Demon Butler, who we briefly saw, I think, a couple times. He's the one who like recruited Kelly and also helped restrain the Demon Prince that one time. We have the Demon Princess, who we only recently met in issue 37. And then we have this bird demon, this one-eyed bird demon that tried to tattle on the Demon Prince when the Demon Prince escaped that one time, and the Demon Prince tore off his own horn and stabbed the bird with it, and that's still there. And then the Flappy Cow demon, my favorite. Got them staring down. The fight begins again. Also, this line is a callback to the previous issue where the Demon King saw Neil's demonic form and was like, you don't have the heart to bring that form to its full potential. And Neil's like, you're right. And now Neil's calling that back with like, I have the heart to bring this form to its full potential, which the Demon King doesn't know about because, again, the First Slayer didn't use it, and the Demon King hasn't been able to spy on Neil since the Green Flame issues began, because Neil has the gem on him and the gem prevents that spying. And they clash, and this is kind of a step up above the fight between Neil and the Demon Prince, where Courtney remarks that with each clash of the swords in that fight, you could feel it in your chest. Well, now this is an order of magnitude higher than that. Each clash of this sword is like shattering glass. Just the percussion of it. And we got another flurry of sword strikes, which was required back then, apparently. Although I will say, like, I was getting better at them. At least they weren't like the first ones were like really boring. Like literally, you just couldn't see their arms at all. You just saw like sparks. You're moving too fast to see. At least now I'm like at least doing these like ghost images of the swords. So at least it's more visually interesting. Although it's weird to see 2 people with such giant swords like sparring that close to one another. Like it's not the point of giant swords. Whatever. And this, I had someone remark once that they liked that I finally showed the disadvantage of having long hair in battle. toss into the building. I do like the way this fight goes places. It's not just here we are and we fight. Like it starts down here and then it stays down there and then they change forms and then they go into the building and then the building gets destroyed. So I was starting to choreograph events. Like this final battle would have sucked if I hadn't. At least it's got some gravity to it because it goes places, you know. If you're going to make a story about the fight, you need the fight to be more dynamic than just two people punching each other in one single spot. And they start doing some damage. Everyone's like we cut in on people watching, you know, and there's Jeff Claus and Hippo watching. And then here, maybe you missed it, but of course we've already read the issue, so you know that Neil loses the gem out of his pocket, and that's the moment right there. I didn't want to draw like attention to it. I didn't want to zoom in on it, but I also didn't want to like half and off screen and feel kind of cheap. So like, yeah, you can see right there. That's the cut that caused the gem to fall out of Neil's pocket. And the Demon King tries to catch the sword like he did last issue, but the sword's much bigger now, so he just loses the thumb on it. I think I did a pretty good job of rendering this ceiling falling in. I definitely would have had a way harder time with that earlier. It's not like perfect, but like you get the gist, and you can see like office furniture and stuff falling from above. I like this toaster hanging from the last floor. And then we see the demon's arm attack, which I like. And this is the first time Demon King's used it since he got his prosthetic, and you can see here in the silhouette the prosthetic is completely destroyed. I'm still proud of this. You can see the blast traveling down the building, where it's like smashing out the windows down here, hasn't reached here, and here we just kind of see like debris and dust billowing out of these windows. And this showing that Neil's getting hit by all that. This probably didn't need to be a full page, considering how meh it is. It's just like, the building fall down. Boosh. I always like this. If you notice, whenever the Demon King uses the demon's arm, like it does actual damage to his arm. Like it fucks his arm up. But he's immortal, so it heals. So if you keep track, you can actually see his arm slowly heal each frame after he uses this technique. Except for, of course, the part that the hand that Neil cut off several issues ago. Then boom, hit with some rebar. I still like that. Although I figure if you could throw that, you could probably throw in your sword and ended this, but whatever. And then this is the best Dragon Twister I've ever drawn, because we haven't seen one on Heaven Gate yet. There's still some improvements that could be made, but by far this is the best one we've seen in Hellgate. We got this spin, and then Demon King freaks out. I love this Neil doing a two-handed swing for the Dragon Twister. I think previous ones just showed him going like at most, but I like a two-handed downward swing for the Dragon Twister. And then we see it, hit it land here. The only thing it's really missing is we could also use like another shot of like the face of the Dragon Twister. We've seen that in other Dragon Twisters, but I think that would have made this one like the perfect package. Like here, bam, and then here it comes at you. Instead, we just kind of get this, which, what is this frame here? It's boring. But you see, he puts a sword out in front of him, which is why there's at least some of him left here. But the sword gets slain, because the sword is also a demon. He's all tuckered out. And then, just so happens, the gem in that building collapsing, and the energy dragon going by, the gem just happened to be near the Demon King after all this. He swallows it. I had people like point out like, where did it go? Because like he ain't got anything left here. I don't know. It just hung out in his stomach, in his throat. He just needed it in his body. It didn't have to get to his stomach. And then he starts merging with everyone. These here, if you remember these from issue 9, Courtney and Jessica and Jesse were out on their own when these minor demons attacked them. They were able to beat them up and tie them up. And apparently they've been there ever since. It's been several years. And then I just show demons just all over the world. I like this one was apparently mugging some guy. And then even the demons out of Neil's sword. And I think I kind of tried to do a little bit of sketching of the different demons. That looks like D4.0 there. That looks like the first demon, the demon Neil fought in issue 1. The other ones I can't really make out. Here is the demon god. I will talk more about almost the vision I had where I first thought up this fight at the beginning of the next reading because it fits well with the cover of that issue. But I like this design. If you can't tell, very tiny right there is the gem in his forehead. Then Neil struggles. I like this. Neil tries to do another Dragon Twister. It just doesn't work. We see the rust back because the sword has to have at least one demon in it for it to facilitate a transformation. So why is the rust there and not there? Well, because if you remember all the way back in issue 2, this was the part of the sword that was sticking out of the gate. So basically, and once Neil slayed a very small lizard demon, that rust went away. So now there's no demons powering up the sword. It reverts back to its kind of beaten up state from it being sealed in the gate for so long. This part here didn't rust because my thought process is that when it seals the gate, when it's stabbed into the gate, the part that goes into the gate like dematerializes and forms the barrier that locks the gate. And then when he pulls it out, it rematerializes into sword. So this part here wasn't even like corporeal for the last 2,000 years. So when it like reforms, it's like pristine. But this part, which was sticking out of the gate, that's all rusted up. This hand coming at him is just a little boring. Could be better. But I just need to show Neil like struggling, trying his best. I do like this. This is a unique pose where he's got the sword right in front of him. Unique in terms of like I'd never done that before. So like good on me for trying something new there. This idea of like I can't go, but I gotta move. I can't, but I got to. And then I wanted him to like just suddenly look really serene. Like there's just like this moment like here comes the power. I don't think I pulled it off there. I just don't think that's how that looks. Then the transformation begins. You know, he's very buff. He's not supposed to be that buff in his base form. So this is part of the transformation. And then Jessica and Courtney. I like this shooting out of their clothes like that and the beams flight. I like that. That came out really well. This ain't bad either. And then let's talk about this. Let's talk about this form now. Now that we see it, Neil's fourth form, the angelic form. So, as I've talked about before, with the Neil's transformations, they were all inspired by Dragon Ball Z. Neil's first form is Super Saiyan, his second form Super Saiyan 2, his third form Super Saiyan 3, with all a variety of other inspirations and alterations made before they made it to the pages of the comic. Like the third form had also Inuyasha inspirations. The second form had Inuyasha and Rurouni Kenshin inspirations thrown in as well. But it's same for the fourth form. So if you don't know, there is a thing called Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball GT, which sees Goku or Vegeta. They're always shirtless and they have hair covering their torso, except for like their chest is like bare, but there's hair all over their back and their arms, not their necks or anything like that. But and they have their black hair, and the fur is red, and they have black hair, but it's a little bit longer. It's kind of like down to their shoulders now, and they get these yellow eyes. And that was the first inspiration for Neil's fourth form, right? There wasn't going to be fur because that didn't make any sense lore-wise. Neil's not an ape. Oh. Semantics. But that's not part of the, So what it was, its original design was Neil's going to get really buff, which that stayed. His hair was going to grow out, which doesn't happen now, but that's because I grew Neil's hair out naturally very early on in Hellgate. He had short hair at first, and then he grew it out shoulder length and got the ponytail. So instead of his hair growing, he just doesn't have the ponytail up. So that there's no change to his hair. This is his hair as it would look normally. His eye color also doesn't change. I was going to have it go yellow, but I was like, well, to keep it brown. He was going to get armor that was going to be red, kind of like the red fur of the Super Saiyan, and it was going to kind of have a pattern on it that kind of mimicked the fur pattern of a Super Saiyan 4. But as that went on, I realized, the more I thought about it, I was like, red doesn't feel like the right color here. If he's supposed to be this ultimate holy form, red doesn't make sense. So now it's white armor. It also, you can't quite see well here because the sword's in front of it, but he's got like a kind of like a piece coming off one shoulder, but not the other. And the reason is because that's very solid, and I couldn't think of how Neil would be able to move his sword arm well with that, just this solid piece there, not letting it move. So the arm that wields the sword, that's got full range. And then I was thinking of Heaven Gate, and I was thinking, oh, and when Neil turns into this form in Heaven Gate, I'll give him wings then. Like it's even better then. But I never really thought of a reason why that would have wings then and not now. And also, the more I tried to think of it fighting and flying around, it didn't make sense for it not to have wings at all. And so that's where the wings come in. I was like, all right, we'll throw the wings in now, and he gets a halo. So it's like an angelic form. And I had someone, the sword is much shorter now. And I had someone give me crap about that on the Gaia online forums. Like, swords aren't supposed to be that short. Like, they thought it was a drawing error and not intentional. They thought I was just drawing the sword too small on accident. And I had someone that I was in a college class with go to bat for me. He's like, well, actually, the reason why it's smaller in that form is because in the third form it's large, but his power is more under control, more contained. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, what? Like that. Okay, I didn't really think that hard into it. I just want to have a smaller, faster blade in this form. But thank you for coming up with your own headcanon. And arguing with someone on the internet over it. And his Hiseki turns into a heart. And then the symbols, this here is the demon letter E for Evans, because Jessica covered up, became the armor for his sword. And this, which looks like a Y, is actually the demon letter R for Rosebud, because Courtney Rosebud became the armor around his body. And then we got this Halloween picture here. We got Jessica as a genie, Jesse as a ghost, Courtney as a nurse, Neil as a samurai, Demonic as a carrot, and Hippo as a bunny. And yeah, that is the last of the Green Flame issues. That was Hellgate, Battle 39, Holy versus Demonic. Thank you for that, Redeemed Gamer Boy. And hopefully next time you guys see me in one of these videos, or the next part of this Green Flame compilation, however you're watching this, it's from a Twitch stream. I think I got the audio fixed, so huzzah. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure you hit the like button, and I'd love to read your comments below. And make sure you're subscribed so you know when the next comic goes up. Also, check the description for a playlist of any readings you may have already missed. And if you'd like to read ahead, all of these comics are free on my website, YagerComics.com. Bye!